It's gonna be so delicious. Homemade caramel, take one. Okie-doke. Can you see that? Here's a present for you. Hello everybody and welcome to Sweet Tooth, the baking series that teaches you how to make the #1 caramel on Google. That's right, friends. My caramel recipe is #1 on Google for a reason, and that is because it is so easy, so straightforward, and nearly foolproof. I'm not gonna lie to you, when I was younger, I thought that making homemade caramel meant that I had to basically be a professional pastry chef. I had to have a temperature thermometer. I had to know exactly when to get my sugar to the right temperature so it's at some soft crack, hard crack stage. Like what? No, you don't need any of that. You literally just need 3 ingredients, a saucepan, and a little bit of patience while you let your sugar cook and melt down. We have granulated sugar, some butter, heavy cream, and then I like throwing in a little bit of salt. I think it just adds a really nice sort of like balance to the very, very sugariness of our caramel. I'm going to put this over a low heat. And one really, really important thing is that you want to keep your heat low to medium low. This guy's making a little bit of noise. He's like a little finicky, but it's fine. The biggest thing with caramel is not rushing the process. What's gonna happen is we are going to cook down our granulated sugar, and we're just cooking the sugar on its own. We don't add anything to it. It's literally just sugar cooking down. But the biggest thing with making a proper homemade caramel is you have to let that sugar cook slowly. If you cook it too fast or over too high a heat, it's going to brown and burn. So to that small saucepan over low heat, we're gonna do 1 cup of granulated sugar, and then I am going to take a rubber spatula, and I'm gonna use this to stir my sugar just every 30 seconds or so to just make sure everything comes together really nicely. Basically, for the first 2 minutes, this is just gonna cook, and the first thing that we're gonna start to see is that sugar melting a little bit and almost clumping together. This whole process is gonna take about 10 to 15 minutes, so I'm gonna show this to you in 3 different stages. Okay, so we are at this first stage where we're starting to get these little melty areas of our sugar. Don't touch it, it's very hot. See how we're starting to get those like clumpies? Good stuff. Just keep scraping and make sure you're really scraping that bottom so that everything is moving together. So I'm going to let this keep cooking, and then I'm gonna come back in like another, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how quickly this goes. And then I'm gonna show you once our sugar starts to take on a little bit more color. All right, so we've gotten to this second stage, and now our caramel is starting to take on some color. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, that doesn't look right, I'm telling you it's right. So this sort of clumpy, very light tan colored sugar, this is great. Those clumps are now going to start to turn into actual liquid. So it's gonna take another like 3 to 5 minutes. So I'll see you in just a second. Okay, so I lied. I wanna show you 4 stages instead of 3 because I think this is helpful. So now you can really start to see that we have this now combination of both liquid and clumps. We have entered into our last stage of the sugar cooking, and this sugar has all turned into this beautiful golden liquid. This is ready to go. As soon as your last little clump of sugar melts and it becomes just liquid, this is when you want to turn off your heat entirely. And now we're gonna add in our other 2 ingredients. So first thing we're gonna do is we are going to add in 6 tablespoons of butter, and this is going to bubble violently. That's because the butter is coming to a really hot temperature really fast. So you're just gonna take that whisk and just keep stirring until your butter fully melts into things. When you have just your butter in here, it might look like your butter is a little bit separated from your melted sugar. Don't worry, just keep mixing. Now we are going to add in our heavy cream. This is a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. We're gonna get that bubbling again. Ah, it smells so good. And then while this is going, I'm also gonna add in a teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna make sure it's all nice. And that is it. That is literally homemade caramel. Obviously it is unbelievably hot, so I'm going to just stir this a little bit more, but you can see that gorgeous caramel color. And what I'm gonna do is, if I were on a stove, I would just place this onto a burner that was not heated. So just let this cool, I would say for about 20 minutes, and then we can transfer it into a vessel and it will have that really beautiful drippy caramel texture. Our caramel has cooled for that like 20-minute mark, and it has become this gorgeous, look at it, it's like a waterfall of caramel. That's what it is. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pour it into this glass jar, both because it's just really nice presentation and also because it will show you the caramel in all of its glory. So when you put it in the fridge, it's gonna get a little bit harder. What I would recommend is just putting it into the microwave for like 30 seconds, no more, and then stirring, or you could just leave it out at room temperature. But look at those glorious drips of caramel. So that is how you make 3-ingredient homemade caramel, no fancy equipment required. Oh my God, I can't help myself. I just have to. Oh my God, it's so good. You could put this over ice cream. You could put this on top of a cake. You can make like a brownie with caramel in it. The options are really endless. Whatever you do is gonna be so delicious. Okay, if you like this video, you can like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't feel like it, that's okay. If you want to find this full recipe, you can go to my blog. I'm including the link below, and you can find a lot of other fun recipes just like this one. So thank you for joining. Happy caramel making, and I will see you guys next week. Chocolate cake, take one. Once I became a professional baker, I knew I had to create the best chocolate cake out there. Really delicious, really easy. What more could you ask for? Oh my gosh, like I can smell chocolate right now and it just smells phenomenal. And I have found over the years that this is literally the best way to soften butter.